Yes, yes, I'm setting up YouTube live as well. Okay. No, it's just one camera, but yeah, I have two cameras. I'm just running YouTube live as well. Yeah. All right. So Instagram and YouTube. Okay, so yeah, this is what. No, I haven't decided yet. Maybe just a few flowers, and then yeah, we can do yeah. I can do a street view as well or a landscape. So yeah, yes, we have YouTube and Instagram live. All right, what we need is just watercolor paper, watercolor. Yeah, this is a Japanese brand. I can't read the but it's kind of like the name is correct. I can't. Yeah, I don't know, but I think it's Cortake, something like that. It's Japanese brand. Hello everyone. Yeah, we are doing a live painting, and this is watercolor painting. So what we need, a few brushes, round brush, flat brush, sword brush, and kind of, this one is called dagger brush, flat brush, round brush. And my watercolor is a Japanese brand called Curati. A glass of water and just tissue, very important to have tissue. I start from very easy flower first. Okay, so what I do, sorry if the camera moves, I just try to set up my, all right, I hope you can see the paper as well as the paint. So what I do, I just wash my brush, and starting from the red color, I make like a thick, very thick mixture, like like a coffee mixture. It's 50-50, 50 water, 50 paint. And I put some droplets, like some dots, okay? And then I wash my brush. When I wash my brush, I get rid of the extra water and I go over these dots and just trying to drag the paint and try to have a interesting petal. I leave some white area here. I don't wet this area, just as it is the highlight over my petal. Same here. Here I leave a bigger area because if you imagine the light is coming from top, so we need a shine here. So I leave this one white. This one is in shadow, this one can be dark, and maybe this one is light as well, a bit lighter, and a very small light petal here. What we can always do, we can load our brush with paint and just put a dot here and let the paint bleed into the petal. This is the beauty of watercolor. This is what happens in watercolor. so many accidents happens in watercolor out of your control, and that's the beauty of watercolor, because you don't have 100% control of it. So many things happens, which is happy accidents, and we welcome them, we like them. So this is going to be a wildflower. Okay, I'm going to put some black dots in the middle. Hello everyone, sorry if I can't say hello one by one. All right, so now I can just do another magic. So I need a palette knife or something with maybe like a very sharp pointy brush. Maybe this one has a pointy brush. Pointy, I mean very sharp point. So I can drag some of these blacks and come to the petal. Yeah, something like this. Okay, now let's do one leaf. So in watercolor, when you do watercolor, try to have light and shadow. You know, the beauty of painting, or I can say the professional painting, is a painting that you have light and shadow. If you don't have light and shadow in your painting, your painting is gonna be very boring and it looks flat. So always try to have light and shadow. And yeah, hello to all people joining my live. Hello to the new subscribers. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to have a very light leaf on top using light green. And as I said, because I'm going to have light and shadow, so I'm going to have a darker green here where it connects to the flower. So I want shadow here, all right? And also under the leaf is darker. So I'm going to add some shadows there. Hello, Ecstastic. Sorry, I can't read your name, but I think it's called Ecstastic. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, I'm going to put a highlight here. And that makes a huge difference when you put highlight, when you put shadow. It just makes your painting dimensional. It gives some dimension. I create some depths by having some dark color. And even I can have a very dark leaf under this. Okay, so I'm now doing a stem. When you want to do the stem, you can use both brushes. It can be round brush or dagger brush, but what you should do is keeping your hand vertical, because when you keep your hand vertical, you can have a very thin line, you know, like, but if you keep brush like this, you can't have a thin line. If you want a thin line, you put your hand vertical and use the point of the brush. And actually it needs a little bit of practice. You have to stand up and move your shoulder. Don't move your wrist. Okay, so move your shoulder, then you can have a very thin line. So a thin line here, that's good. And now I'm going to do some leaves here. All right, I'm using this dagger brush or sword brush. And you see, I'm using the width of the brush. And then using the width, and then I rotate and use the point of the brush. Let's have another leaf here. Rotation, yeah. All right. to do a flower, a bud. So for doing a bud, I just do this, and then another one here. Now I need some green. And again, I can create some highlight on my flower by lifting. This technique called lifting. We wash the brush, we dry it with dab it on the tissue to dry it, and then just lift some of the colors. Then you can create a white area which is kind of highlight on your flower. And also what we do, we create highlight, and now we need shadow under the flower. So I grab some dark red and I create some depths under my flower to give it some dimension. It's like a circle. So whatever you paint, it doesn't matter what object you paint, it should have some light and some shadow. Imagine if I want to do a circle in watercolor, or not watercolor, any medium. So what you do, imagine that is the circle. So I wet the paper like a circle, and then I start with light color. Here, because we have light here, light. So this part is going to be very shiny, and then I start with the light red, and as I go down, I make it darker. See? I make it, even when I go to the bottom part, I make it very, very dark. This way you can have a dimensional like circle, like a ball. And now here I'm going to merge the color. And under this shape, we are going to have shadow. So I use black and white to create a gray color, and this is my shadow. Okay, so actually this can be a apple, a red apple. Okay, so if I want to make this one as an apple, I create a hole here. Even I add some yellow, you know, some apples have just a little bit of yellow in them. And I need a stem, a brown stem. Okay, a brown stem as it is an apple. So I'm just saying every shape in watercolor or in any kind of painting, if it is, doesn't matter, color pencil, acrylic, gouache, watercolor, whatever you do, you need light and shadow. Okay, as you go down, the color gets deeper and darker. All right. So, yeah, okay. So someone told me to do a pomegranate. I'm going to do a pomegranate now. Okay. If I want to do a pomegranate, okay, I need a very, very bright and vibrant red, starting from, you know, the circle, okay? If I want to outline a circle, actually a pomegranate, it's gonna be something like this. Okay, so I start from, and there's two techniques for doing that. I start from wet brush and dry paper. My paper is dry. Okay, now I put the color here. Okay, and we have light here. Okay, light. So this area should be lighter than here, and this one is dark. This side is dark, and here I need a shadow. I wash my brush and I just go over this paint and I let it bleed. Again, just using clear water now here. I don't have any, like, just a little bit of paint on my brush, but it's mostly water because I want to keep this area very light. Maybe just a little bit of red that makes it pink. And I keep this shine here. This is the light. For the bottom part, I mix purple with red to make a very dark color for under my object, which is the pomegranate. It's gonna be dark. I need more red here. Okay. Again, I wash my brush and I merge these two colors. I just soften the edge of the color to have a very nice transition from dark to light. And now I need a shadow. My shadow can be blue or bluish gray if I want to be. Yeah, this is the shadow. I just draw paint here, maybe something like this. And when the shadow color touches the pomegranate, this color bleeds, and it's okay. Let's bleed, because every shadow in the nature or every object has a shadow with some of the object color in the shadow. The shadow in the nature is not pure gray. For example, if it's a tree, you can see some green in the shadow, or if it's a red object, you can see some redness in the shadow. So because of that, I just let it bleed. Even if I want a very dark shadow, I use black under my object. Okay, so this pomegranate should be darker here. Again, I wash my brush and I merge the color. Now going to the top part. Okay, I need some shadow here as well, and some red color here, because this is where the light doesn't hit, so it should be a bit darker. And this one, light. Again, I need every single object in watercolor needs a shadow. You see this corner? This one needs a shadow. Even this, because light doesn't go there. Okay, shadow here. And you can see it looks 3D, like 3D, three-dimensional. Okay. Yeah, as I said, you really can see that it's a 3D shape, not 2D shape. Okay, if I want to do a pomegranate this is from the side view, I can do from top view. Let's do a small one here. Okay, if I want to do the small one, okay, you know, pomegranate has some brown part hair inside it. So I start from those. I put some dots, okay? And they are yellow and orange. So I just do the middle part. Okay, this is the middle of the pomegranate. And now I leave a white area around it, just going around it. Okay, I didn't draw with pencil, I'm just using watercolor. All right, and now I'm going to the outer part of my fruit, and I mean pomegranate. So this is from top view. If I can, and pomegranate is like a geometrical shape, like this kind of. It has a shape. Again, because I have light here, okay? If the light is coming from here, I need some white area. So I lift the color to create the white. And now I need the shadow here because light doesn't go there, so it should be like in shadow. Even here, shadow. Okay, so even darker. As you go down, your shape should be darker. I have some shadow here as well, okay, under this part. I also should have some shadow under the pomegranate here. If imagine it's on the ground, located on a table or something. Yes, this is the top view and that one is the side view. Yeah, adding some dots here, some shadows, darker color inside. Wow, I love it. That's amazing. Okay, let's do some flowers now. Okay, you can, yeah, I saved the Instagram live as well, also as well as YouTube live. You can go and watch it later if you want. So I'm just, okay, maybe I use paper. Yeah, okay, so I save all the video. I mean, when the live is finished in Instagram or YouTube, both of them, yeah, I save them. And you can watch later and paint along. Okay, so what kind of flower do you like? Let's see what I have here. Oh, okay, I think geranium is good, right? If you like the geranium flower. A geranium in a ceramic vase like this, something like this. Yeah, we can do that. Yes. Yeah, okay. Let's do this flower. Okay, first I need a vase. I just draw the shape of the vase. This one, all right? Using the brown color, yeah, for the vase. Or yeah, I can start from the flower, doesn't matter. So here I prefer to have some water sprayed on my paper because it gives me some textures. Yeah, spraying water on the paper because I need to get some textures. And then using the dagger brush, I wash my brush, I dab it on the tissue, get rid of the extra water, and I go to red color. And I just put some random colors. And because, you know, the paper had some water drop on it, it just starts bleeding. All right. maybe some here and on top. As I go on top, I add orange because again, you know, I have light here, right? So I use the orange color on top. I want to have some sunshine on my flower. So because of that, I'm using a bit of orange on top. And as I go down, I make my red darker. All right, I put some dark color, dark red under the orange. Okay, and maybe some more here, some more here. All right, now let's go to the yellow color. I get some yellows. This is lemon yellow. And these are my leaves. You know, geranium leaves are like a square shape or very big circle. It's like geometrical shape again, like this. In watercolor, we always start from light color and we make it darker as we progress into painting. So starting from lighter color and then proceeding to the darker color to the end of the painting. But in acrylic or oil, it's different. They start from dark color and they add the lighter color later. So it's the difference between watercolor and oil. In watercolor, start always from the light color. Okay, now I'm adding some green. Because my paper now is wet with yellow color, when I put the green color, the technique is called wet in wet. Means my paper is wet, my brush is wet. So if I put a green color here, look what happens. It just spreads and bleeds and creates some texture for me. Yes. No, it doesn't have a hard edge. It just spreads everywhere. Okay. Okay, now I need this area to be settled and I wait for it to be dry, and as this one dries I do the vase. So for doing the vase, again, as I said before, because imagine light is shining from here, so this part is in shadow, and because it's in shadow it's darker, but this one is lighter because it's in light. So I use the brown color and starting from the middle. The reason I'm starting from the middle of the vase is that I put some brown color in the middle and then I wash my brush and just with clear water I touch here. And when I touch here with just water, the color bleeds into this area, but still I have some white which I keep it because light is coming from here. Actually, light is coming from here, okay? So this part should be white. Not white, pure white, just I mean very light. And now I'm making a dark brown, mixing burnt sienna and a bit of black. Now I have a darker brown. I add the dark brown here. Even the bottom part of my vase should be dark. Again, I need, and you know, it's just a gradient. Light, light, and as it goes to the left, I make it darker. So this part is the darkest part. See, it's kind of black because it's in shadow. and even the bottom part should be very dark. And also I can have some shadows here. This is like a ground, soil or whatever, table. Okay, so I have some leaves here, maybe some red petals, maybe a flower. Just again, I create some shadows for this one as well. As I said, every object needs a shadow. Okay. Now I go back to the flower part. I need some stems. This is very tricky because my paper is still wet and you can see water flowing. So it's very wet. So I should be very careful. But we always in watercolor, because watercolor is layer by layer. Sometimes we use hair dryer to dry it. But now I don't want to use hair dryer. I'm just trying to figure out where the dry part is and adding some details. So these are and because the paper is wet, I'm trying to have a very thick color. Very thick color means less water. And when you have less water, it doesn't bleed as much. But if your brush has too much water, water goes everywhere and it ruins your painting. So just be careful with very dark color. Okay, I need some dark under my reds. All right, I'm adding some shadows. And I'm making dark red by mixing red and purple. Okay, here, here, and here as well. I'm just trying to have the shape of geranium flower. And I don't kill all the reds. I keep some of the red fresh reds, because I'm just adding some shadows under them. And some greens as leaves. Now I'm mixing red and white. I just want to create and also orange to have some darker red, lighter red, and having one flower here, adding some orange. This is the lightest one. And need some stems. Yep, this is the geranium flower. See, this one here, I did this one before in another YouTube Instagram live. Okay, now I need leaves, and here I'm going to create leaves with negative technique. So I'm not sure if you know the negative technique, but let me tell you first what is negative technique. We have two techniques in watercolor. One is positive technique, positive, and two is negative, for creating shapes. Positive means when you load your brush with paint and you draw a shape like this. What is this? It's a leaf, right? This is called positive technique. But what is the negative technique? If I load my brush and I do this, I created a leaf with negative technique. Means I draw around the shape. this is my leaf. The white area is my leaf. Again, if I draw a leaf by adding color around it, it is called negative technique. Okay, so here I'm going to create some negative leaf by adding dark color around them. So I need a very thick color, okay, very thick color with less water. And imagine I want to have a leaf here. See what I do? I go around it, and now I have a leaf here. Another one here. And now I wash my brush, and with clear water I just try to soften this color. And I can have another one here, but there's lots of water here. I just dab my brush and my tissue to get rid of, just getting rid of water. And now again I can have a big leaf here or a small one here. This is negative technique, means you put dark color around it. All right, even I can have a stem. How? Look, this is the white, this is the light color. I put some dark around it, and now I have a stem here, or maybe one here, another one here. These are the stems. Okay, let's have another leaf here, and these are my stems. Another leaf here, and here as well I create one leaf here, and maybe one stem here, another one here, a leaf here, and here. Yeah, okay, so I can have with lifting technique, I can have some veins. I create some veins, means I wash my brush, I dry it, and then see, I create some white lines. Wash it, dry it, and do this. Again, washing and drying and creating some lines. This one as well. I wash my brush, dry it. Now I'm drying with my finger, but we can use the tissue. I'm creating those veins on the another magic you can do is using palette knife. If I can't find my palette knife here, or maybe okay, I can't use my I can't find my palette knife, so I'm just using the normal knife. Yeah, because I always lose my stuff. Okay, using this knife, the real knife. Be careful. Okay, so I leave some of the color and create some stems. See what happens. I hope you can see that. Okay, it's a beautiful technique. With this technique, I can lift the color and create some textures. See? It's like a stem. Creating some stems, some branches. This technique is very useful when you want to, when you draw a landscape. Even I can have some lines here. And actually, this white area, I can use it for some geranium flower stems. You know, it has some like this. show you the texture. These are the lifting technique, which we lifted the color and I made these white lines on the leaves. Yeah, okay. So I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching the demonstration, and I save these videos in my channel, and you can always get back and watch them a few times. You definitely can paint along, and if you have any question you can ask. Watercolor painting is very enjoyable. It can be a little bit hard when you start, but when you learn to control the rate of the water and the rate of the paint, when you get the control, it becomes very enjoyable for you. But I would say just start and enjoy. Don't think about the result, because whatever you paint, the result is going to be beautiful in watercolor. Watercolor is different from oil and acrylic because it's kind of medium that you can create some loose style water color painting. I mean, in loose style, and in loose style you are free to have different shapes. You can have some droplets, you can have some like a splash paint on your painting, and the result is always beautiful. So yeah, for example, this one is a loose watercolor flower. You can see water flows everywhere, and I'm not worried about the result at all. Whatever you do is beautiful. This is one of other paintings. See, it's a large flower, very basic, very easy. This one is another loose watercolor style. If you go back and watch my videos, I have some very easy flowers in my channel that every beginner can start on them. They are not hard, they are super easy. Everyone can start them and enjoying watercolor. So don't be scared of the result, just start and enjoy. Yes, that's it for today. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed my videos, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like my videos, and subscribe to my channel for more videos and more live demonstration. Thanks for being here. Bye everyone.